Hello, today is the 13th of January, first market review in this year, and right now you see Bitcoin, but I want to take a look at the Qs first. So what's basically happening here is that we are in a state of correction, starting maybe in the middle of December, or in the second half. During the 18th, there was a significant sell-off. It was later accompanied by an attempt of accumulation, because this is a good bar and the price is in the higher part. But nevertheless, it is trending down, at least locally, in this small channel, and it seems to be responding to it quite well. What's even more interesting is that today we are about to open roughly here at around 503, and we are near the lower part of this channel, and if there will be no support here, I think we could go faster and lower. And if we take a look here, we'll see that this is the half of the swing move according to Fibonacci, and also it is accompanied by this rising 200-day moving average. So I think this could be this could be the first substantial attempt at finding support with this correction. And overall situation was quite weak. Roughly around that time, new stock setups stopped working, and if you let me check, oh no, I don't have it near me at the moment, but I think yes, we could actually look at December setups first to see it with our own eyes. So not many names, and most of them are behaving like this. So they had some of them had setups, some of them didn't form them, but as you can see, most of them are roughly where they were or worse. Once again, I'll go past the BTC and we'll discuss it separately at the end of the video. Some names like Dutch Brothers are in my January watch list now, because obviously they are holding well. But as you can see, same with Embraer, I like it too. Now, iBeat was the first time when I spotted this head and shoulders structure which was forming here. It's a shame that I didn't short BTC, but once again I'll return to it at the end of the video. Nvidia is quite weak also. Take a look at this day. It has been selling hard during that day, and take a look at this day also. Maybe the price configuration is quite different, but it's clearly distribution day. Maybe distribution from the most informed, which was met with substantial buying, but somebody definitely knew something then. QUBT, Quantum Computing Incorporated, is a good example of what happens to thematic stocks in this kind of arrangement in which we are now. This little bar here is what, like 40% drop in one single day. Yeah, 46, even more, and roughly 50 at the low. And the second day, Friday, actually pushed it lower to this mark. RCI was the first trade I decided to put on in the first trading day of January, and you basically can see what happened. It was quite difficult to buy because it was moving fast. Triggered stop, crawled a bit higher, then got pushed down again. But nevertheless, it's holding quite well in this market. Interesting company. Schwab is weak, actually a good short. Was looking at it in December. Yes, right. C Limited is holding quite well. Also, Shop is under pressure and will open. I'm sorry, in the lower part of the Friday's range. And if we look at SQQQ and TQQQ, you can see that it's quite difficult to find a decent setup. Actually, I've missed this one, the Monday the 6th opportunity, which worked quite well. But now it's not much to see. And let's take a look at January as well. In this year, I like Roblox, but it's fairly extended now. It has been a very successful stock, and maybe the previous opportunity to buy it was at January the 2nd, when it was near the 20-day EMA. Now I don't trust this classic breakout, even given the fact that it has pulled back and it's holding well. It's still shaky. Of course, you can see the destruction if in FNGU, basically leveraged FANG. They seem to be taking the most pressure now. For Embraer we have already seen, and 4 is okay. C-Time Corporation is okay. ON. Actually, this one was buyable on Friday, but still could consolidate here, especially if they push it a bit lower today. Maybe it will spend a couple of days more here around this part of the price structure. DSM, we'll see. Actually, this was at January the 2nd, I came up with 2 setups. This one I spotted before the market, and what was the name? RSI I spotted during the first 5 minutes due to a volume spike, and it didn't work, but TSM actually provided a good opportunity to create like 7 or 8% in 2 days. Exactly the kind of situations I like. So, and another potential idea is Vital Farms. I like their numbers. There is a deceleration here, but sales are still good, and the company is also near their IPO high, and breakthrough this level is a classic situation you could look at. Rambus is quite nice also. Riot is good, and Dutch Brothers as well. But the problem is that if the market goes down as a whole, it's very difficult to make low risk purchases even in the best names. So for me now it's mostly wait and see. Volatility could be peaking as well. I mean, in local terms, the most important part of the day is the first hour, our first hour or 2, because as I've said, we really want to see huge support around this area today. If it goes down through here, things could get quite nasty, but we'll see. Nevertheless, these setups which I've mentioned here, these January names, are decent, are of decent quality to me. We'll see. Okay, now let's take a look at Bitcoin. It actually it was fighting quite well on Friday, and it was for me personally, it was a sign of potential resilience in this market. But it tried to emerge from this short volatility contraction here, and it failed. And as you can see, we see this new emerging pattern. It's weekend, so basically no volume and no drastic movements as well. Breakout attempt, slammed on big volume. And it also keeps selling here and here. Another accumulation attempt, good substantial volume, volatility contraction, attempt to emerge, sell on big volume. So my only concern here is that I still don't have enough experience in shorting, and this was a good idea. Actually, this was a good idea, and these could and should have been sold here, because it is quite obvious that this head and shoulders is forming. And I also mentioned that sometimes they do provoke sellers in areas like these, where the so-called neckline is present, and then they quickly go back up, thus sealing their fates, shorties I mean, consolidate for a bit more time, and then they go. And after that movement could be quite explosive, because now we have everything in place. We have longs, obviously, who are buying whatever situation that could develop here, but we also have lots of shorts who now need to cover. So this is actually one of my favorite situations price-wise. And basically that's it for the technical side, and I think it's fair to discuss fundamental stuff a bit. And my concern with this market is that the fundamentals right now are not that good, actually, because in December we saw conflicting measures of different inflation indicators, and as we know, there is no commitment from Federal Reserve to a fixed schedule of rate cuts. So they promised us to assess the situation as it goes. And if we take plans of the new American administration into account, we will see that most of them are inflationary. Tariffs will bring prices up, and of course inflation will follow. Territorial expansion, which they seem to be quite serious about, is inflationary also, because you need to finance ideas like that, whatever the means you choose. And this is another field of expertise I want to gain proficiency in, is basically fundamental stuff, because all of this was quite obvious. And if you take a look, for example, at the oil is reflecting this thesis, this idea quite well. So obviously now you can see why the Qs are weak and the coin is weak too. These markets, they just can't go up without lower rates and further lowering of the rates, which is more important at this point. So we'll see how the market will hold today. I'm recording this video about half an hour before the opening bell, and it's going to be an interesting and quite important week. Let's be in touch.